You have grandchildren now.
Yeah.
Would you want your grandkids to play football?
No, I've stated emphatically to my daughter and to her husband, my son-in-law, that he's 2, he'll be 3 next week. He is not going to play football. Knowing what I know now, if someone had told me, or if someone had told my parents years ago, I think my parents would have made the same decision.
Now, that's just a small portion of my interview with former New York Giant linebacker, Hall of Famer Harry Carson. Now, he says he suffered the residual effects of concussions even today, and he'd never want his kids or his grandkids to play football. He's part of a growing chorus of people who are raising serious questions about the impact of concussions and the potential dangers of football. Now, in June, a class action lawsuit filed against the NFL on behalf of more than 2,000 former players who allege the league didn't adequately warn them about the danger of concussions. Harry Carson, he was not one of them, although he understands the lawsuit. Now, football concussions, they're being discussed more often than ever before, but when one school board member at a school district in, of all places, New Hampshire, suggested that they ban the football program altogether, the story went viral. High school football, an American institution, is reflected time and again by Hollywood. So when this mild-mannered school board member at a sparsely attended meeting in Dover, New Hampshire, advanced a radical idea,
we have a moral imperative to at least begin the process of ending this game.
It sparked an instant uproar.
Surprising proposal popped up at a school board meeting.
The media got wind.
Now the future of the program in jeopardy.
And the coverage went national. The board member in question here is Paul Butler. He's a retired doctor and a former high school and college football player himself, who says the beloved Dover high school team, the Green Wave, it has to go.
The literature is clear. This is a dangerous game for children to be playing.
ESPN Sports Science says big blows like this one can be equivalent of taking a sledgehammer to the head. And it's not just pro football. New studies show that kids who play high school football and even Pee Wee League football, they're also exposing themselves to the dangers of head trauma.
A game that uses the head as a battering ram is not a smart game to allow a youngster to play.
Butler definitely has his critics, including the school board chairman, the local paper, and check out how Rush Limbaugh describes critics of football.
Panty wastes who want to try to take the risk out of everything in life.
Butler admits he doesn't have the votes to ban football right now, but given the mounting evidence, he says his proposal is a first step towards the inevitable. All right, and if you needed further evidence, in Massachusetts, it was a Pee Wee game. 5-year-olds, I think, and 6-year-olds, 10 to 12-year-olds, 5 players were carted off with concussions in that game because, once again, you had a coach who didn't know when was when here and how to follow even guidelines. All right, let me bring it in. Brad, I'm going to you. You played college ball at Hofstra. Many of us at the table played football too. We understood it. We loved it. But you heard Harry Carson say he wouldn't want his kid to play. There's another issue here. These concussions, these lawsuits, what insurance company is going to actually give insurance? These teams are going to have to self-insure, and if you're a high school, this is untenable. Do you see a day when football, as we know it, is going to be played in high schools?
Oh, it'll be played. It's the greatest American sport right now, and it's got the biggest following, the biggest money, and besides that, it can be played relatively safe. There are some issues right now, of course, is people using their body as a projectile on the field.
But Brad, people are faster, they're stronger, they're moving at high speeds. Even guys who aren't headhunters, it's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, but these lawsuits, they do something. You know what they do? They make people wake up and they understand from their pocketbook that this is going to be a problem. The NFL is going to learn, and it's going to trickle down to college, high school, and the kids.
But isn't a lot of it also the coaching? They get everybody so ramped up playing at such a fever pitch that you will do anything to make the play.
It's all, you know what? It's about how kids are hitting and how they're tackling. If you're taught properly, you don't use your head. No one uses their head. By the way, if you do use your head, you give the other guy a concussion, or you can be paralyzed yourself.
But you know what? And Brad played college. I only played high school ball. But Andrew is right. A lot of it is coaching, because I know when I played high school ball, we are taught if somebody just ran 15 yards at you, all the defensive coach needed to do was look at me, and I knew what that meant. And that look meant you better stop him. anyway, anyhow, or you're going to deal with me in the locker room.
I just, Anthony, don't see how this is sustainable from an economic standpoint. I love football, played football, my kid's doing something this week, but nobody's going to self-insure if you're a school.
No, it's a kill, kill, kill mentality. You're absolutely right, Dominic. And I love football, and I'm unfortunately a Jets fan, but don't hold it against her. We'll get among friends. Thank you very much. But the point is that it's a culture. Obviously, you watch NFL football and you see these guys taking their heads off. They want to emulate it in high school, and that's the problem that you have.
That'll never change. The only thing that'll change is the economics. I'm not so sure you guys are all right here. I don't want you necessarily to be wrong, but we will see. Now, we're going to stay with sports. When we come back, New York Islanders, it was an announcement that Brooklyn greeted, but if you're an Islander fan, and unfortunately I am, I don't think it was that great a day. We'll be right back with more on that.